today I want us to talk about, how you get to know that you are outgrowing your bunch of friends. How do you know it's time to move on from, being 100%, involved with your friends, and maybe try and get other things to do. Spend less time with those people you call your friends. Here are some of the signs and the things I've got to learn on my journey of, evolving into the woman I'm becoming. Let's get into it. Normally, you'd have a lot of excitement and you'll anticipate going to meet your friends. But then again, when you get to a place where you no longer get excited, I want to go and meet my friends, I want to go and hang out. When you get to that space, it means you're getting to a place where you are bored and you no longer really value the time you spend with them. And you no longer want to spend the same time with them. And maybe it's because you're bored of the things which you guys have been doing, because the things have been the same. And you feel like you just need something different, or you want some change in your life. If you get drained anytime you're hanging out with your friends, or you feel exhausted either spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, and you feel you're just drained and you don't feel like you're getting anything of positive value in your life, I think it's important for you to take a step back as well and figure out, what is it that is happening? Is it time for me to let go and move on, or what am I going to do? But then again, always remember that sometimes we might blame our friends, but we are also toxic and we are also negative people in our own rights. So none of us is perfect, but it's important. If you want to change, you must look for people who want to change. But if you stay with the same people who don't want to do anything else different, then probably you're not going to change. When you get to a place where there are things now you've gained interest in, or there are things you want to pursue, but your so-called friends do not care about those things. So sometimes you might be having time to do the things you love and the passions you have and the purpose you're after, but then you might be spending that time with your friends. And a lot of times you might find yourself in a space where you can't really share your dreams and your visions and what you want to pursue, because you're afraid of how they're going to judge you and look at you. So if you have such friends that you feel like I can't tell them exactly what I want to do, because they might start, teasing me and, just embarrassing me because of the things I've told them, I think it's time for you to find a new tribe and find new friends who are like-minded and who like the same things, or want the same things, or are trying to grow. Don't kill your dreams just to fit in a group of friends. There are too many people out here. You can always make new friends and better friends. It's important to make sure you have friends who affirm the good things about you. Sometimes you have friends who only contribute to the negative things in your life instead of affirming the good things or the right things in your life. So if you have friends and the only thing you do is just negative stuff, it's just, negative conversations, negative energy, I think it's important to get to a place where you understand that a lot of times, whatever you allow into your space in terms of the energy you allow surround you, it can highly affect and influence how you do life, or how you view life. So you're wise, you can always, hang out with your friends and choose not to partake in those things and be an individual. But then again, sometimes it's hard to move on from friends, especially if all of you're like-minded and you feel like you're going to be betraying them if you step out. So you also need to understand sometimes how you get to know that it's time for you to move on from the group of friends that you have is you get to a place where you think individually and not, you don't partake in the mob mentality kind of thinking, whereby all of you think as a group, none of you thinks as an individual. So you're like, twendeni tukakunywe, for lack of a better example, twendeni tukatumie miadarati, and all of you just go to use drugs. Twendeni tukafanya sijui nini, nyinyi yote bado mnaenda. So just getting to a place where you understand that you need to start thinking as an individual. You don't need to subscribe to everything your friends are doing, but you can choose to do things differently and to go to spaces which grow you and spaces which you care about and they add value to you. You don't need to be everywhere just because the people you call your friends are doing everything everywhere at any time. Plan your time and use your time wisely. Last but not least, you might find that it's time for you to move on from your friends and get a new bunch of friends, especially if you feel like it's time for you to change. It's time for you to grow. It's time for you to mature, because maturity doesn't come by age, but maturity is all about the mindset which you have. So sometimes we might do a lot of foolish things as young people, but sometimes you get to a place where you want to do things differently. You want to make different choices. You want to become more responsible and accountable. But then you have a group of friends who don't want anything to change. They want everything to stay the same. If you do have such friends, make a point to sit yourself down, call yourself for a small meeting and ask yourself, is this going to be worth it in the end? And what are you losing by remaining the same, yet it's time for you to shift, it's time for you to do things differently. So just in case you've been wondering if it's time for you to let go of the friends you have, trust me, I've lost friends and I've gained new friends and even better friends who help me grow as an individual, and friends who actually clap for me as I walk this journey and as I become the woman God is calling me to be. So I'd want to encourage you, it's okay to lose friends, but don't waste your life living to please friends who won't be there in the end. And when that time for judgment comes, all of us are going to be judged individually, not with our friends. So please don't miss out on the things you're supposed to be doing in this season of your life because of friends. If it's time for you to let go and let God and move on. If you still have grace for your friends, maybe encourage them, talk to them and try to tell them, it's okay to change, and we don't need to stay the same because this is what we've been doing, but it's okay to change and to do things differently, to have a different mindset. So I think you lose friends in this life, you lose people you love, you'll be disappointed, but don't be stuck with people just because you're afraid of moving on and making new friends. If it's time for you to move on, well, you better move on.